Yeah, Mass Effect 2 time. Now, there are a lot of really good things about this game, and a lot of not as great things about this game, but mostly really great things about this game. Few iffy story points to some extent, but really cool companion system, really large list of companions. I want to say this game might have one of the larger, this might have some of the most companions in any Mass Effect BioWare game, period. It's a huge party, and then they expanded it with 2 more DLCs on top of that. I think you have like 10 party members or something completely absurd like that. Almost all of them with like nice, fleshed out, developed characters and stuff. A couple of them are super forgettable and lost in the crowd. But one of the most important things about Mass Effect 2 is that it is, I believe, not right now. It is basically an almost unprecedented case of, how do you put it, importing a save from a previous story-based, decision-based game. Oh, you're gonna be obnoxious about this, aren't you? We'll get back to this in a minute. But this is a crazy case of... It's a game that the last game had a whole bunch of decisions in it, a whole bunch of story forks, a whole bunch of different things that you could do throughout the game. And this game imports your save and uses all those decisions and actually reflects them. Certain characters are alive and dead, or in different locations, or in different states of being, and entire factions think of you differently, depending on what you did in the last game. And that carries into over the third game too, which is incredibly crazy of a feat, and it was basically doomed to fail, which is why some level of disappointment was certainly reached by the time we got to the end of Mass Effect 3. But the scale of this endeavor is staggering, and I don't know if it's unprecedented, but on this scale and with this level of audience size, it's certainly the big first tentpole example of this kind of idea. Even their previous games, like KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2, like that game, it's the best it did was try to reflect your decisions by having a quiz at the beginning of the game where it asks you for a historical lesson about what happened in the other game, and it tries to kind of reflect that a little bit. But Mass Effect 2, crazy ambitious. Unfortunately, and here I am relogging into the game and everything again, this is one of the downsides of Mass Effect 2, is it was during the shitty period of EA putting an online pass in every video game they put out. So every game came with a code that came in the case with the game. I mean, you had to type in the code, redeem it on the online service for PlayStation or Xbox and so on, and that was the online pass. It was frustrating because it wasn't even an online game, but now you had to be always connected to Cerberus network in order to play the game properly. So you had to be always online, and if the internet went out, you couldn't play your DLCs. And if you it didn't happen to me in this specific game, but in Dragon Age Origins case, I had a situation where I bought DLC, and at one point my internet went out, and I couldn't play my save file because that save file existed in a world where the DLC existed. So because I had DLC in that playthrough, I couldn't play that entire playthrough until my internet came back online, even though it's a single-player game. I didn't have that specific thing happen with Mass Effect 2, but Mass Effect 2 has the same questionable things attached to it that are kind of frustrating. But here's all the DLC, because there's a whole lot of it. Mass Effect 2 Genesis, a 15-minute interactive story that has you make the key choices of Mass Effect 1, will allow you to have those choices reflected in Mass Effect 2. I've never seen this before. Wait, I have to purchase it? Oh, I don't own that. Oh yeah, because I didn't own any of the I didn't buy any of the premium DLCs that weren't story related, so I don't actually have that. I was actually tempted to click on that and just see what it was like, because I've never experienced the interactive comic before. It's like an interactive motion comic they do to recap Mass Effect 1. It was primarily added because when Mass Effect 2 came out, it came out on the PlayStation 3. But PlayStation 3 never got Mass Effect 1 because it was published by Microsoft originally. Mass Effect 1 only came to PS3 a few years ago. Like, way, way, way late. But now it's there. So, frustratingly, I'm connected to Xbox Live now, and if anyone has useful information, I'd love to get that, because I cannot figure out how to turn off notifications on this thing. It's frustrating me. I was not connected to Xbox Live for the entire last playthrough, because I was constantly being bombarded with like messages of people logging on or sending me messages and shit like that, and that I don't want that in my recording. But I don't know how to get away or get around that now, because now I have to be online to play this game because it's an always online game. I might just delete all of my friends list people, and that might help. So here's the big thing. You can import your Mass Effect 1 character. There we go. I'm going to specifically try to circumvent a glitch that exists in the first game, that exists in Mass Effect 3 here, if I can. Alright, Commander Shepard, level 50, Sentinel, Earthborn, Sole Survivor, 32 hours. Combat difficulty, Insanity. Nah, probably not. Let's go to Veteran or Hardcore. Let's... Veteran. I am trying to get through these games in a reasonable amount of time, to be fair, because the fourth game comes out soon. But I don't want to play in normal mode because it's like brain dead mode. So that's primarily why I'm playing on slightly elevated difficulties. Freaking auto level up. No thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with everything else here. Name. Rank. Yeah, it's level 50. That's a very large screen for one tiny number. It doesn't even say level 50, just to indicate, or like class, Sentinel. Weird space of use. So here they are reading my save. So I was Commander Shepard, level 50, Sentinel. I was a Paragon Path character. Slightly not entirely accurate there, because I was Paragon with a lot of Renegade, but that's not really reflected here. Erdnot Rex survived the mission on Vermeer. Kaiden Alenko was killed on Vermeer. Those are the two. And then the Council was saved by Commander Shepard during the attack on the Citadel. Those are like the three big decisions you make late in the game that have the biggest ramifications. But they're smaller ones, or not necessarily even smaller ones, but less relevant ones. Like, what state are the Rachni in? That could come up later. Did you save the Rachni or not? That's kind of important. But yeah, Rex is alive, Kaiden's dead, Ashley's alive, the Council's alive, some Alliance ships died, and so on and so forth.
Shepard did everything right, more than we could have hoped for. Saving the Citadel, even saving the Council, humanity has the trust of the entire galaxy. And still, it's not enough.
Our sacrifices have earned the Council's gratitude, but Shepard remains our best hope.
But they're sending her to fight Geth. Geth! We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow her. She's a hero, a bloody icon. But she's just one woman. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose her.
1 month after the devastating Geth attack on the Citadel, the galactic community struggles to rebuild. The Alliance fleet made a tremendous sacrifice to save the Citadel Council and earned humanity membership in their prestigious group. Now the Council is forced to respond to evidence that the Reapers, enormous machines that eradicate holochronic... Fucking 2 games in a row it goes that fast.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be. Stealth systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
Presley!
Kinetic barriers down. Multiple hull breaches. Weapons offline. Somebody get that fire out.
Shepard!
Distress beacon is ready for launch. Will the Alliance get here in time? The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttles. Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't evacuate. I'm not leaving either. I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttles. I'll take care of Joker. Shepard, Liara, go. Now. Aye, aye. Everybody in! Go, go, go!
Oh god. Turns out this is the precise scenario where Joker may be bad at his job. Because he can't walk. Not really.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy. Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
Somebody was jealous of Dead Space, weren't they? That's a really cool moment, though. This is just how incredibly fucked the Normandy is at this point. Ooh, he's got a kinetic barrier. How cool is that?
Come on, Joker. We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that.
Yeah, okay. Help me up. They're coming around for another attack. Watch the arm! Commander! Shepard!
And that was the day that Commander Shepard died.
Commander Shepard has been recovered. The Lazarus project will proceed as planned.
I actually know people who quit when they got to this part. Or when they heard about this part, at least. The idea that, like, Commander Shepard dies and is brought back to life in such a crazy... get out of my face, Cloud Saves. Hey, that's a strong import. I recognize you. Where's this? Oh, my scar's gone. You took my scar away. I guess that makes sense, given the context of everything. But yeah, the Commander Shepard comes back as a augmented cyborg type person a little bit. Not entirely. It's more like a crazy, like, we brought them back to life, but there's clearly stuff inside her at this point. And yeah, they mess with your idea of what your character is a little bit. There's your default appearance. Let's see, if I do custom appearance, can I customize from where I left off at all? No, I can't. Never mind. Ah, stop telling me that. Alright, crap. There might be a glitch if I accept the imported face, because I've heard that you lose your face in the next game as a result, and it freaks out. But maybe surely they must have patched that by now, right? It's been years. It's such a basic part. Let's go. So you get to pick your class again, all over again. Sentinel's what we went with last time. Tech, armor, throw, warp, overload, cryo blast. That's a new one. Heavy pistol and submachine gun weapon training. Oh no, I was an engineer. No, engineer is the full combat, the full AI-oriented character. So these characters are actually different a little bit now. Like, even the soldier has some more abilities now, like concussive shot is a bit of a fun little twist that mixes things up a little bit. There's infiltrator as the combat crossed with engineer situation, so they have a cloaking device and the ability to send out fire attacks and AI hacking, which is hacking into AI characters. Vanguard, my personal favorite, is the biotic soldier combo. In this case, they get biotic charge, pull, and shockwave, which are pretty freaking fun abilities. That's the push and lift abilities we're used to from the previous game are completely removed, but now you have like the ability to like shoot off a weird it's like bending bullets like in Wanted, except it's a force thing where the energy ball shoots off at a crazy curved angle, then jabs into the enemy and launches them off into whatever direction it came from, and they end up going off in weird directions and stuff. That's where you get your shotgun, your heavy pistol, and your submachine gun. And ammo training is kind of a big deal too. Different types of ammo have different effects on different types of armor, and they also just create different effects on the enemies themselves when they make contact. So each character is, despite the smaller number of overall skills in the game, each class turns out being surprisingly unique and varied from person to person. So Sentinel's what I did last time. They now have tech armor, throw, warp, overload, and cryoblast. I might stick with what I had last time. That's heavy pistol and SMG, so you're gonna be seeing me say goodbye to a shotgun if I stick with them. Adept, singularity, warp, throw, pull, shockwave. So they have all of the force-related abilities. So throw is actually still in here, surprisingly. It's just that the Vanguard doesn't have it. They only have pull and biotic charge. Biotic charge is a cool concept of mixing the soldier and sentinel concepts. You use your biotics to basically ram into somebody from across the map. You just hit them, and you're just there now. So it both changes your current location, which is interesting for tactical reasons and also risky, and it just slams into them. And I think that's something that Adept doesn't have because they don't have the soldier part of the class, so it would be a bad idea to have them just charge in at that kind of way. Then we have Engineer. Engineer's pretty neat. They have a combat drone, Overload, Incinerate, AI Hacking, Cryoblast. A combat drone is actually a character it's actually a unit that you summon, and it goes out there and starts attacking people on an individual basis, which is neat. I think I want to do Sentinel just because I've never done that before. And I'm kind of curious about how some of that'll work. It'll be interesting, perhaps. I still get Throw at the very least, so it can't be all bad. But I will kind of miss my shotgun. I like shotguns. Let's stick with the current class, because it's changed to the point of being unrecognizable from what it was last game. Your achievements give you access to the following bonus powers. Select one. Oh. I have a lot of achievements. I might have every single achievement in this entire game, actually. So, armor-piercing ammo, barrier, slam, fortification, Geth's shield boost, energy drain, reeve, neural shock, shredder ammo, warp ammo, inferno grenade, flashbang grenade, stasis. I really wish I remembered what some of these were. Alright, I'm looking into a few of them, and this one sounds interesting. Reeve uses... It attacks the enemy system, prevents healing, restores health, gives temporary health bonus to the person using the power if used against an unprotected organic, and it does double damage against armor and barriers, so it can actually help fill out my character's specializations a bit. So I'm gonna go for Reeve. Let's go for that. Alright, Sigourney Shepard, Earthborn, Soul Survivor, Sentinel, Reeve. Let's make a mess.
She's reacting to outside stimuli, showing an awareness of her surroundings. Oh my god, Miranda. I think she's waking up.
Damn it, Watson. She's not ready yet. Give her the sedative. Shepard, don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay calm.
Heart rate's still climbing. Brain activity is off the charts. Steps pushing into the red zone. It's not working.
Another dose. Now.
Heart rate dropping. Stats falling back into normal range. That was too close. We almost lost her.
I told you your estimates were off. Run the numbers again.
Wake up, Commander. Shepard, do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is under attack. Shepard, your scars aren't healed, but I need you to get moving. This facility is under attack. There's a pistol in the locker on the other side of the room. Hurry! Grab the pistol and armor from the locker. You don't have time to wait around, Shepard. Grab your weapon and armor.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from... Damn it! Those canisters by the door. Keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself from the blast.
There's a press button to take cover button. Isn't that great? You can press a button. Like, this list looks the same, but controls are different. Look at this. It looks like an actual third-person shooter all of a sudden, where, like, you pull a trigger to pull out of cover, and you press A to take cover. Hooray! But also, a little bit of body horror going on here to... Oh, look, my Renegade is actually built up a little bit based on that. Cool. The text just didn't reflect it. So, a little bit of body horror here. My character's covered in scars, but noticeably missing the one diagonal cheek scar that she actually had before everything went to shit. So, I simultaneously, like, I have the scars of all the stuff that happened to me from being murdered, killed, sent into space, burned up in the atmosphere, but then also all the invasive surgery that was involved in my resurrection. And just to seal the deal on how much my body's not entirely my own, my previous scarring is actually gone. Which is creepy to think about. So here's Throw. That works exactly how it used to work, I believe. We have Warp, which damages people and stops health regeneration. Also just does damage, and it's good against armor and biotic barriers. Warp. Tech armor. Generates an energy armor suit that boosts your shield. So it also is something you have to actually activate manually, but at least it lasts until it's destroyed. And its overall leads to, it goes up to 75% of bonus shields. And then here's the thing that's special about Mass Effect 2 specifically, is that nowadays you get to that 4th point and you actually pick a branching path between 2 different skills, much like things we've seen in like games like StarCraft 2 and stuff like that, where you make a binary choice about how your character is going to develop. And then I need skills and other things in order to get stuff here. So I need Tech Armor rank 2 to get to Overload, and I need Overload rank 2 to get to Cryoblast, which encourages me to actually learn each of these things one by one. Same thing for the throw and warp situation here. And there's Defender. Costs you squad points. A balance of mental, conditioning, and scientific know-how improves your recharge time of your powers and your Paragon Renegade. You get bonus Paragon Renegade scores. That's bizarre, actually, to think about. But that's my basic bonus stat. And then Reeve is the one that I got as a result of having beaten the game before. It's interesting that it's not even save-based, but achievement-based. This lets me attack past people's double damage to armor and barriers, while also to actually healing me, which is interesting. I actually might put some points into this to start with. Let's start off with Reeve and Tech Armor for starters, I'm gonna say. There we go. Also, goodbye to texture pop. My character just loads immediately, which is nice. Journal's now on top because you'll notice they've replaced Journal with, this used to be Journal, now that's Codex. Codex used to be here, but now that's Map. Main menu is weirdly jammed in here, but Journal's on top because they actually removed the inventory. It's just gone now. Pooh! When you go on missions, it just kind of gives you, you pick what gun you want to take with you, and that's it. They went from having the most horrifyingly overbearing inventory ever to removing it entirely. And, there are mixed feelings to be had there. Let's map my skills here. So I can map things, yeah. So right bumper currently is throw. I can make left bumper into Reeve. And then right now Y is my Tech Armor. So I can just activate that right now. So that gives me armor, which will defend me against attacks, and thankfully is not doesn't have a cooldown or a duration, so it'll just stay active. Also, akin to some complaints, they got rid of one thing that was actually interesting about the last game. I have mixed feelings about this, but they got rid of ammo. I mean, well, no, they added ammo. I mean, which is weird. So as I said before, in Mass Effect 1, your guns had like a weird chunk that was like the gun itself would chip little things off the chunk that was the ammo block inside the gun, and it would just fire and fire and fire. You had infinite ammo, but it would overheat, and the overheating was the problem you had to worry about. They got rid of that immediately. They gave us quote-unquote thermal clips, which are clips that maintain the heat capacity. Functionally, we just have bullets now, basically. They got rid of that one interesting thing about the shooting in this series and just turned it into a normal shooter. The controls are so much better, though, just as a general rule. Boom. Okay, that's a bad idea to be here. I should not be this close to the enemies. I didn't realize how many of them were about to come around the corner. Thankfully, biotic abilities are still very satisfying.
Nice work, Shepard.
Very satisfying, actually. Unfortunately, all of my abilities are now on a global cooldown, as you can see. So instead of them all having individual cooldowns where I can spam them one by one, but then have to wait for a very long time for each one to come back, nowadays, cooldowns are relatively short, but they're shared. They all have one universal one. So you're watching that little... If you look at my gun right now, there's a little... The reticle has circles coming together. When they meet each other, I will then be able to cast my next ability again. Which means I'll want to cast Tech Armor like I just did between fights as often as I can, because it affects... I think that's what my cooldown just came from. Like, I think it affects my global cooldown. So a lot of changes happen very quickly to this series. And that's... One thing I find interesting about BioWare. That's clearly the way I'm supposed to go, right? Is there anything over here?
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mix distracted for long.
That's just a clip down here. One interesting thing about BioWare that I do respect is that they're willing to change all of their games a lot from sequel to sequel. Mass Effect's an example of that, but Dragon Age is a huge example of that. Their games are so strangely different from game to game. Not always for the better, unfortunately.
Use the grenade launcher to take them out.
So hold left bumper to select grenade launcher.
We've been spotted.
There we go.
Take the elevator down 1 floor.
They presumably were frustrated how nobody ever used grenades in the last game because they were mapped to the back button and kind of sucked. So they just flat out gave us a grenade launcher this time. I'll just recast tech armor periodically. So we're losing contact with Miranda. Shepard's just going with things right now because she's not had any chance to question the scenario of how the hell they got here and why they woke up here. Oh, I think that person just got killed. Here we go, the new hacking mini games. They're weird, but at least they're not. Simon says, highlight individual nodes by finding matching symbols. When you found 2 matching symbols, select them to complete the circuit. Complete all circuits before you run out of time to bypass security. Alright, here we go. Wow, that sound is almost nostalgic at this point. There we go. You're just matching the symbols and clicking on them to connect them. Straightforward enough.
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all his money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
So you may have noticed there was a bunch of pop-ups when I first started playing. I'm starting off at level 3, and you can see in the corner there I have 55,000 palladium, iridium, platinum, and element 0, and other stuff like that, and I have 330,000 credits. It's not huge, but Renegade and Paragon are not the only things they gave you. They gave me some experience for having played the previous game and gotten to level 50. They gave me those things maxed out, added up a little bit. And they also gave me various currencies based on how much surveying I did of the galaxy and things like that in the previous game. So surprisingly, not just your decisions, but your actual, like, countable progress in the previous game, even the stuff that didn't seem to matter, suddenly kind of affects this game, which is kind of neat.
Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise.
So we have a sudden appearance of actors all of a sudden in this game that are a bit more recognizable. Keith David was pretty up there already, but Miranda Lawson's played by somebody who was on Chuck, I think. I've never seen Chuck. And that guy we saw at the very beginning with the cigarette smoking in the room, that weird dark space room with Miranda, was played by Martin Sheen, which is kind of a big name for this game. That thing is huge. That thing is absolutely huge. Things have progressed a bit.
Log update. I can't figure Miranda out. As project director, she should be ecstatic at all the progress we've made. But she's still the same old ice queen. Maybe she's worried Shepard might become the new favorite. Or maybe she is just a pure cold-hearted bitch.
A little friction between coworkers, huh? I'm here. I'll save you.
What are you doing here? Thought you were still a work in progress.
Oh, Jacob. So say hello to what might be the most boring companion character of any BioWare game ever, to the point where people forget he exists sometimes. Oh, Jacob. They tried.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it! Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
It always bothers me how you see people take cover in video games and in movies, and they're shooting, and like their heads clearly stick like too high compared to the cover they're hiding behind, and I'm like, how is this cover right now? You need to duck way lower than this.
What's with the mechs?
Security. Usually they fight for us. Somebody must have hacked them. That should be impossible, unless you've got access. We've got to get you out of here, Shepard.
It's your station, Jacob. I'll follow you.
First step, let's finish off these metal bastards. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
But I'm a biotic. Oh, I missed. Wow, that's actually really frustrating. Alright, so the quirk here is that you can map abilities of Jacob's to your skills. So if I press X, it'll map it to left on the D-pad, which is noteworthy because then you'll have another companion over here, and you can map their skill to right on the D-pad, and now you have a whole bunch of hotkeys that help you avoid opening this menu during combat ever again, despite it being like a staple of the previous game. So now I've got a left bumper Y and right bumper skills for my characters, and then left and right on the D-pad will be my companion characters, which is noteworthy because your companions don't use up your slots. So I can be like, left on the D-pad, boom. There he goes. So while I now have a universal time limit, I have I have a universal cooldown to deal with for all of my skills, which is a bummer. But now I can manually order my characters on my party pretty consistently, at least in a snappier way than was previously available.
Before we go anywhere, I need some answers.
Sure. What do you want to know?
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me. How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
What do you mean, cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone. They wanted to bring you back exactly as you were. You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
I don't know if it's just me, but on top of everything else, I think Jacob might be on the very, 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 very gulch, the bottom of Uncanny Valley. Like, he somehow falls into a specific thing where his eyes and his mouth somehow, every time they move, look way more weird than any other character I can think of in any Mass Effect game. And that might just be me, I don't know.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it, what they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting at us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
I think part of it might be like he has like black highlights around his eyes, and his eyes have that thing where the top lid is like horizontal and the bottom lid's curved. So it looks like those Japanese masks of like the white demon masks that have like the red outlines around the eyes and the lips and everything, where like they look like they're just like they eat people and stuff like that. Like those I don't know, are those kabuki masks, or is that called something else? But his eyes look like one of those weird designs, as opposed to like the exact shape you'd expect from like humans. And in movement, they somehow look even stranger.
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
No! S.O. Presley hit the deck.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant. But I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you. She's not about to give up on you now. You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
She knows how to take care of herself. But I hope she's okay.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get her out of there. Get to the service tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way.
Gotta go. Let's recast armor, just because I don't know what state it's in right now. I don't think there's any meter for it anywhere. I just have to look at the vague appearance of it being on my character and hope for the best. Oh. It's so nice having a cover button. That hit him. That hit him too.
Damn it, Wilson. This room is crawling with mechs.
Can't crawl over it. Oh shit. Where'd he come from? So we do have a shield icon on the bottom of the screen. That's my overall shields. When my shields go down, I'll then get the Call of Duty red screen damage for my health. So that also is here. There's no longer a health meter.
Help! Wilson, where are you?
Server room B! Hurry! They're out of control!
Up those stairs.
Where are you hiding, Wilson?
Shepard! Down here!
I'm here. What do you want?
Bastards got me in the leg!
You were there the first time I regained consciousness.
Yeah, that was me. How about we talk about this after we fix my leg?
Should be some Metagel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Metagel from
Tutorial! Tutorial! Tutorial!
Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now. I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
I don't care who set up who. Those mechs are shooting at all of us. We'll sort it out later.
We need to find Miranda first. We can't just leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing. The mechs were all over that sector. There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her? There are only two possible explanations. She's either dead, or she's a traitor.
Then why did she wake me up and warn me about the attack?
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor. But that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few... We can overload the canisters to clear a path to the shuttles.
Get over here!
I love his total commitment to the idea that she's a traitor, followed immediately by giving up on the idea that she's a traitor. Let's try overloading here. There goes the canisters.
Let's get out of here.
So now we have a temporary party member.
Okay, we took him down. But this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
We won't make it if she's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project. The program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
Dun dun dun! The evil terrorists from the first game are the people that brought me back to life after 2 years of careful work. What the fuck's going on? What? You can say never heard of them?
I wiped out my share of Cerberus projects when I was a Spectre. Back then they were trying to kill me. Why the change of heart?
Those answers are way above my pay grade. But basically, things change. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too, but right now we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what. Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the Elusive Man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Elusive Man. Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah, that's not his real name, of course. Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
I don't care what his name is, he just needs to answer my questions. All of them.
He spent a lot of money and time bringing you back. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to tell you whatever you want to know.
It's not much farther to the shuttle bay.
So we just got some important recontextualization of how Metagel works, because Metagel used to heal your health, but we don't have health anymore, so now Metagel has replaced the Unity skill from the previous game. See, it's still listed as Unity, but now Unity requires Metagel to be used, because now Metagel revives everybody that's taken down in your party. If they fall in combat, you use your Metagel to activate Unity, which you now start with instead of having to earn like you had to in the past. They're changing that a bit. They basically did the change that happened between Halo 1 and Halo 2, where Halo 1 had a health bar and a shield, and the shield regenerated where the health didn't. And Mass Effect 1 also had that, but now Mass Effect 2 did the exact thing that Halo 2 did, which is that they kept the regenerating shield and then basically got rid of health. So you just have a vague buffer of not being quite dead yet after the shield drops, and that's it. And here's the other type of hacking. We're looking for that code segment. I think I just have to click on it or something. Oh crap! And if you touch, you start off by highlighting a specific part of the screen, and if you touch any of the inaccessible locations, you get in trouble. There we go. Straightforward enough. No, that wasn't it. There we go. You just have to click on 3 things that match the weird shape and color of the thing you're seeing on top of the screen, and hope for the best. It's better than Simon Says. And it's, most importantly, more than one mini game. So at least you're not doing one mini game for the entire game, at least. So right there, I just went right on the D-pad, left on the D-pad, and I hit them both with my allied powers. It's effective. Makes combat feel pretty snappy and satisfying. Until you miss, and then you're really frustrated. I think the squad powers are somehow more reliable. I think it might be required that they be activated on a target or something. I find myself more likely to miss whenever I use my own abilities than theirs. Look at him go! Haha! Oh shit! Oh, gotta remember to reload. That's too many enemies over there. Unfortunately, if you miss, your characters will try to walk towards where your goal that you set for them, which is not often the intention. There we go. Yeah, basically shoot force missiles at each other that launch them into the air. Gotta look for this green segment. Is that it? Yeah. Orange. Waiting. Where is it? Give it to me. There we go. And that one. It's odd. Also gives you money, so that's nice. Yay.
Test subject has been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The Lazarus project will proceed as planned.
I find that really neat. It's a video log on the ground, but like it's distorted and everything, but surprisingly it's actually real. That's actually her animating, and she's actually animating like the dialogue she's saying, like the mouth, the lip sync and everything is happening. They're just rare. Whenever there's like a little like weird pre-recorded audio log thing that you can pick up on the ground and play in a video game, it's always like a really distorted loop of some kind that's not actually talking, but she's actually saying the lines. Her character model's actually saying the lines that are being spoken there, as opposed to a weird looping, like basically GIF that's just playing on the screen. It's a nice touch.
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
You should have taken him alive, see what he knew.
Too risky. I've put too much time and effort bringing you back to life to let you get killed now.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Not anymore.
That's a fantastic line.
If you say so. What's our next step?
We get on the shuttle and go. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean the elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of you.
Lying to the commander isn't the way to get her to join our cause.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life? Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The elusive man is waiting for you there.
I'm not sure I trust you.
This is the only shuttle off the station. You want to stay and rot with the mechs? Be my guest.
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the elusive man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on. Before you meet with the elusive man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda, more tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The elusive man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
So, this is how Mass Effect 2 starts. We die, we come back to back, we're working for the terrorist organization from the first game, and we have glowing scars on our face.
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
2 years and 12 days. And you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you grew up on Earth. Tough environment, no parents. You enlisted, and you survived a Thresher Maw attack that wiped out the rest of your team. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. Everyone screaming, gunfire, blood everywhere. I was the only one who stayed focused on survival.
I read the report. 50 Marines died on a cruise. You were the only one who lived. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Lieutenant Caden Alenko was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave him behind?
We should move on.
Let's try something else then. Shepard, think back to the Citadel, after the Alliance saved the Destiny Ascension and you killed Saren. What happened next?
Humanity was offered a spot on the Council. I recommended Captain Anderson for the position.
Yes, Captain Anderson is now Counselor Anderson. Though from what I hear, he preferred life in the military.
Still, good to know that the Human Council member isn't going to put politics ahead of defense.
Your memory seems solid. There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough. The elusive man is waiting for you in the other room.
This facility looks a whole lot like the last one, and a whole lot different from all the Cerberus facilities we broke into in the first game.
I wouldn't keep the elusive man waiting.
The elusive man is waiting for you in the other room.
Here we go. So this is the inventory of this entire game, basically. You can customize your appearance. Isn't this nice? Also, this is here, by the way. just so we're clear, there's blood dragon armor in this game. For Dragon Age I think it was Dragon Age Origins. If you had Dragon Age Origins on your game and had achievements for it, then you'd have this. Gives you 15% more power damage and 10% more shield strength. Unfortunately, I think the helmet stays on, and I don't think it can come off. Here's Terminus armor. Storm speed, shields, all weapons reserve. Ammo is increased by 10%. Unfortunately, I think these two types of armor are all armor all the time. I don't think the helmet ever comes off, so while it looks really cool, awkward for conversations when you want to see your character's face, ever. Then there's a Cerberus assault armor, also a full set. And then just the regular the N7 armor. You can choose which variation of helmet you want to use. You can put on an eye visor and tech goggles. A lot more combination here. And then this freaky thing, the recon hood, which is cool. I do like having something like this on because it kind of fits with the type of character I'm using in this case. I don't think I actually have options for any of these other body parts yet. Chest, shoulders, legs, arm. But over time you'll unlock more of these. I can change the material, which has minimal effect to some of this. And you can change some of the coloring, which is actually a nice detail. Like there's actually a decently large chunk of options here too. There you go. Add a bit more blue and red and some color variation in there. It's the type of color customization I always wanted in the first game, where you have these horrifyingly vibrant color palettes and your characters are often totally different appearances from each other, and you're not always happy with it. We start off with this color variation, this one that's just like an extra layer of print over it, and then this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, the pattern has its own color separately. There we go. Which you can change on its own. Doesn't always fit very well, honestly. Let's go back to the original pattern, which I think is non-existent, basically. Oh, right, we're changing the stripe color. We'll stay with red. And your casual outfit. This one is not customizable as much, I don't think. You just pick one. So you have the one we had from the first game, more or less, but with Cerberus plating, Cerberus printing on it. We've got this, like, almost like politician, senator type costume. This more rough and tumble work costume. Kind of looks like the mechanic from Firefly. And then this one, the more female variation of the, like, politician, or actually, I guess not politician, but just professional person working on the Citadel type costume. I like this one. I've always liked this one. Just for both male and female, though, I think I like the work costume more than running around in a freaking weird uniform all the time for casual stuff. But then again, I like my sci-fi dirty. Despite the fact that I like Star Trek, I often like dirtier sci-fi settings more than cleaner ones. I think it just generally feels nicer when everything feels like lived in and grungy.
Commander Shepard.
Elusive man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
Unnecessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
What exactly is it that you and I know?
That our place in the universe is more fragile than we'd like to think. That one woman, one very specific woman, might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
You need to earn the right to ask me those kinds of questions.
Cerberus isn't as evil as you believe. You and I are on the same side. We just have different methods.
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and the Geth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting. Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
If this is a threat against humanity, you need to mobilize the Alliance.
They suffered substantial losses fighting Sovereign. They're rebuilding, still stretched too thin to waste resources verifying the Reaper threat. Blaming the abductions on mercs and pirates is easier and more convenient.
If what you say is true, if the Reapers are behind this, I'd consider helping you.
I'd be disappointed if you accepted any of this without seeing for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust them?
Wilson was one of my best agents, but he was a traitor. Miranda did exactly what I expected of her, and she saved your life in more ways than one. Jacob's a soldier, one of the best. He's never fully trusted me, but he's always been honest about it. You'll be just fine with them. For now.
I almost can't get over how hardcore the orange and cyan is in this room. There's a very Michael Bay elements here, where the person is lit in bright orange and their background's full of orange and blue, and because it's just two popular contrasting colors used in a lot of action movies, used in a lot of covers, both for movie covers and a lot of video game covers. Obviously, it's a bit of the Renegade and Paragon coloring too, but it's used in that's why they pick those colors for Portal, and they use that color. If you look through your collection of movies and video games, especially if you have physical copies, and just look around, you'll see a weird number of them have a whole chunk of the cover will be dominated by those two colors because they're just really popular colors to contrast against each other in many forms of visual media.
Is this a volunteer job, or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways. But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
Hey, we leveled up again. Why not? Here's a new journal. So once again, we still have the distinction between missions and assignments, where assignments are optional and missions are all of the required things. We saved Joker. At least that happened. So Awakening, we need to investigate the missing colonists and investigate the colony. Basically the same objective, but this is a nested objective where this is the main prologue thing and this is the individual objective of checking out that location. Got 2 more points to spend. But as you can see, things are quite different this time around. Not only do we only have 4 ranks per skill, but the ranks themselves cost more per slot. You might look at this thing and think that that it's just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but it actually means like this costs 1 point, this costs 2 points, this costs 3 points, that costs 4 points. And that means that getting to that last rank means saving up multiple levels worth of level ups. And it's not a bad idea to do. But for now, it might not hurt to get just rank 2 of throw. Make that a bit more powerful. It's a very pretty game already. The graphical jump between the first and second game is actually really substantial. Once you zoom into people's faces, you realize that, oh yeah, this game is like 7 years old already. But otherwise, generally happy with what I'm looking at, even if Jacob has a terrifying mask face thing going on. Well, the saga begins. Well, continues and begins. It begins to continue. Yeah.